You do take a second here. All right, you go.
Good to go. All right, good evening. I'd like to call the town council meeting to order. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America,
For which it stands.
for which it stands,
Under
one
God,
nation, God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all.
That's tough. All right, next up on the agenda is the approval of the memoranda from the October 19th regular meeting. If anybody has any questions, or I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. First by Councilor Plunkett. Who was the second? Second by Councilor Culp. Sorry, everybody's got their masks on. It's hard to tell who's doing what. Amy, if you'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, Vice President Traylor,
Yes.
Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Choi,
Yes.
Councilor Culp,
Yes.
Councilor Melton,
Yes.
okay, Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, memoranda is approved. I believe we had a vote of 6-0. Next up on the agenda is the request to speak. We have one request to speak. Also, if there's anybody on the Zoom meeting, if you would raise your hand for the request to speak.
Actually, the mayor is on the Zoom meeting, so I'm going to promote her right now
All right.
so that she may speak.
And while you're promoting her, I will say, Mayor, I personally don't feel it's necessary for you to fill out a request to speak. I think this council would welcome you to speak at any of our meetings without the 3-minute time constraint that goes with the request to speak. But with that, Mayor, you are welcome to speak.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good evening, councilors. I'm here this evening to request a vote from the full council in response to my request to discharge a department head. I'd like the opportunity to do this at a future time. As you know, our town's reorganization documents require a majority vote of the town council in support of the mayor's request in such a situation. Unfortunately, the reorg does not offer any specific guidance or procedure for calling a special meeting of the town council to hear the mayor's reasons and accompanying supportive information that would support taking action on this type of personnel matter. Joe Keel, our HR director, has served the administration well in capturing important data points from a variety of sources that we are ready to present to the full council for your consideration. The current situation continues to worsen, and the impact it is having on our employees is my most significant concern. I hope that you are able to find a date and time for all of us to review my request and make a determination based on the employee performance data provided for your consideration. Thank you again.
All right, thank you. Is there any other requests to speak?
Yes, we have Craig Tiscari raising his hand, so I'm promoting him. He should be here in just a second.
Mr. Triscari, I believe you know the routine, 3 minutes. If you'd state your name and address for the record before you begin. And you're welcome to begin.
Thank you. My name is Craig Triscari. I'm at 3270 Haddock Road. As of November 2020, Van Trust has still failed to run the 8-inch water line into Saratoga after the December 2018 rezoning passing requiring Van Trust to run the line when they set up their water. The gross inconsiderate behavior of this company is considerable, and their lack of concern of the problems they have caused this community is intolerable. The town council a few months ago voted unanimously to give Van Trust millions of dollars in tax giveaways to include paying nothing the first year after opening. The refusal of this council to even consider a 5% increase in this multi-billion-dollar company was well noted. Now, in 2 weeks in front of this board, you're going to get a request that Whitestown incorporates our money or tax dollars to build a library. Now, this board is going to consider to come in front of Perry Township again with their hands out for hundreds of thousands of dollars for Whitestown Library. That's not in our district. Why in the world would you think taxing our community at 6% increase to pay into a general fund for services this community already has access to if they choose to use it? Why do you think it is appropriate to increase our farmers' taxes in our rural community? Why do you feel you should not put this to a referendum of the people that will be paying this unwelcome tax burden? We pay taxes now for Zionsville for no services when it comes to water, sewage, school, access, police, road repair, and construction. Now you want us to pay for Whitestown Library. I recommend Whitestown increase the taxes on their multi-billion-dollar companies and they allow to work tax-free in their town and leave Perry Township alone. Whitestown taxes and the lack of consideration of their residencies in 2014 and 15 were the main reason Perry Township was willing to partnership with Zionsville. The only thing that may have changed is that it appears that this council may no longer be willing to represent our rural values. Additionally, you need to address the water and sewage issues in southern Perry Township. Bottom line is that Whitestown Library District plan is poorly conceived, excessive tax outside of township, and abuse of your commitment to our 2015 partnership. Take us off this Whitestown money grab. We're not interested. We and our children currently have access to quality library support. Plus, the town of Zionsville has much bigger issues to resolve for Perry Township before they can ever consider bringing money into Whitestown for this project. Thank you. I gave some documentation to this town council. That was a little bit broader. You have some of the more detailed pieces to this. I look forward to you consider those pieces because it is a severe tax on Perry Township that is not really welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Triscari. Are there any other requests to speak?
No, there are not.
All right. Before we move on, I just want to point one thing out. In Mr. Triscari's comments, and I think that there's a misunderstanding that we proposed the library's expansion. That's actually being proposed to us, not us proposing it to anyone else. So the idea that I would encourage those that maybe want to speak on this matter to address it properly. It's not the town council proposing this, it's the library itself. All right, next we will.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Make a comment. So back to one of the things Mr. Triscari consistently says in his testimony is about town council providing a tax giveaway for Van Trust to build, or that town council continues to provide tax giveaways for corporations. These are tax abatements, which are standard municipal taxing strategies to get businesses to come to a municipality to be able to increase their tax base. It's what we do to compete with other municipalities and attracting business, and it is a part of doing business within a town. So every time he talks about a tax giveaway, I will correct it and say that it is a tax abatement, a financial tool that is used by many municipalities to attract business. And what we offer Van Trust is a standard one that other communities offer other businesses to come to their communities.
Thank you. Any other comments on that? No. All right, moving on. We have old business. We have a consideration of an ordinance vacating a portion of public right-of-way within Zionsville corporate boundaries. This is the second reading. Not sure who's presenting on this. Is it Roger?
We do have Roger Kilmer. We also have the petitioner, Amy Fisher, but I will get Roger on here.
All right.
In case you have questions.
Roger, are you on?
Should be there in just a minute. I see him. There he goes.
Good evening.
And Roger, I know this is a second reading, but briefly, if you would, just give the summary of what we're voting on for those in the public that maybe aren't familiar.
Mr. and Mrs. Fisher had filed a petition for a vacation of an alley adjacent to their lot. Their lot's address is 50 East Ashford. I know that she is on this call or on the Zoom meeting also. But they're just looking to vacate a portion of the alley that runs adjacent to their lot. It would be retaining easement rights to this area that would be vacated. The town staff, through its TAC review process, has reviewed this request. There were no concerns raised. And so that is the quick summary of the request.
All right. Any questions from counselors? None? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2020-17.
Fred. Was that a second, Mr. Burke?
Yes, sir.
All right. Got a first from Counselor Plunkett, second from Counselor Burke. Amy, if you do roll call.
Sure. Vice President Trailer,
Yes.
Counselor Burke,
Yes.
Counselor Choi,
Yes.
Counselor Culp,
Yes.
Counselor Milton,
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinance passes in a vote of 6 in favor, 0 opposed.
You.
Next item on the agenda is other matters. I believe we have 2 other matters to discuss. Counselor Plunkett, you had an item you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I just briefly wanted to update the council and the community on the Waste Management Board. We had in our August 22nd meeting, we had an update from a Tox Drop event that was held here in Zionsville. That day we had 591 vehicles that netted 11 tons of household hazardous waste and 11 tons of electronics. So I'd like to commend the community for that, and Jennifer Lawrence, who's the executive director of the Boone County Solid Waste Management District.
Jason, any idea how often that is something that we will be doing?
Yeah, they do that at least once a year here in Zionsville. They also have a big drop in at the fairgrounds once a year also. The numbers are a little bit down due to COVID, but for the most part, this was certainly a positive event for us.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Any other matters? Counselor Cole?
Well, I thought I'd talk about something positive in our BOPAC meeting last week. A donation by a resident has been given for us to get a new canine dog. And I was pretty pumped because I was excited because I was going to go help pick up the puppy on Thursday, but I can't go. But I think the town should know that that's really, really awesome that someone donated it, because I think it's like $15,000.
Yeah.
And, it's nice to have some of these meetings talk about something positive. And for the folks that are listening out there, it's Chief Spears and his group are so excited about this. So look for some marketing on that in the newspaper, on the name and the puppy and everything that's going on with that, because I know a lot of people were pretty upset when our dog passed away earlier this year.
Yeah.
So just want to let everybody know.
Yeah, that's a great thing, and so kind of them to do and do it anonymously. They don't want any recognition for it. It's it's a great item.
Hey, Joe, do we only have one in the past, or do we have more than one already?
We've got one and one passed.
Okay, so we typically have 2.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
Any other items before? All right. I've got one last thing. I don't want those viewing in the public to think that we're ignoring the mayor's request. It is noted. What I will say is that in the past, the mayor has asked that this item be placed into the agenda, and we refused to do so until we were given the evidence that she has to support her request. We'd like the reason for that, and this has been my stance along with, I know President Garrett felt this way as well, but he can make the decision whether this gets on the agenda, but my stance is that I'm not interested in publicly putting anybody on trial without first seeing that there's some evidence to support such an item being put on the agenda. So I just don't want those in the public thinking that we've ignored the request. The request is on record. We appreciate that. And as soon as we have reason to believe there's substantial or substantiated claims, we'll put that item on the agenda. Any other comments or other matters? No? All right, next up, we have the approval of claims. If there's any questions, otherwise I'll take a motion.
So moved to approve.
All right.
Second.
All right. Got a first by Counselor Choi, second by Counselor Culp. Amy, if you'll do a roll call.
Sure. Vice President Traylor,
Yes?
Counselor Burke,
Yes.
Counselor Choi,
Yes.
Counselor Culp,
Yes.
Counselor Melton,
Yes.
lose him?
I heard a yes.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. Claims are approved in a vote of 6-0. Next item on the agenda is a motion for an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Got a first by Counselor Plunkett,
Second.
second by Counselor Burke. Amy, if you do the roll call.
Sure.
I will not be a smart aleck this time.
Vice President Traylor,
Yes.
Counselor Burke,
Yes.
Counselor Choi,
Yes.
Counselor Culp,
Yes.
Counselor Melton. We hear a yes. Counselor Melton?
Yes.
Here we go. We got a yes.
Okay, and Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Motion to adjourn is passed in a vote of 6-0. Our next town council meeting is Monday, November 16th at